Formal rules of evidence do not apply. Each side is limited to 15 minutes. The board may grant additional time. All proceedings will be conducted in a calm, civil manner. Individuals who conduct themselves otherwise will be asked to leave. If necessary, they will be escorted from the chambers. Now, I will ask all who plan to speak to rise and be sworn in by the clerk.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth throughout your entire testimony?
Okay. Our first order of business is to review and approve the minutes of last month's meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Minutes are approved. Okay, is there anyone here today to speak for items not on the agenda?
Good afternoon, Board. Ken Peaslak, Code Enforcement Manager, and I'm here with me is Lee Caswell, the newest member of our family. Lee will be the Code Enforcement Inspector, primarily assigned to business tax receipts. In due time, you'll be seeing plenty of them, I think.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Lee.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet y'all.
Anyone else for items not on the agenda? Are you items not on the agenda? Item on the agenda. Okay, we'll get started. Next on the agenda are the new business items. Okay. Case 158-21 finds respondents Derry Bowie at 2432 Bond Avenue in violation of code for exterior surfaces and roof maintenance. Is there anyone here to speak to this case?
Just me.
All right.
Hi there, Shelby Brown, Code Inspector, City of Clearwater. This is for case 158-21. 2432 Bond Avenue is a single-family residential property that has two violations existing currently, which are for exterior surfaces and roof maintenance. And both of these issues still exist and are in violation. We are requesting compliance on or before January 15th of 2022, or a fine of $150 per day per issue for each day the violation continues to exist, so that's potentially $300. And we are asking the board to authorize the following. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the city attorney's office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien using any legal or equitable remedies available under the law.
Okay.
How long has this issue been going on?
Well, can I get a declaration first?
Yeah, I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Gary.
Yes, we started reaching out in the early summer. The Homeowners Association had checked in with us, and we started with a courtesy letter and then notice of violation, so several months now. And I have heard back from the property owner recently, and he does intend to move forward and get things taken care of. Fingers crossed.
The only concern, I was actually thinking about this while I was driving here today as I got yet another call that one of my projects is delayed due to work shortage and supply demand, as well as Christmas. I'm just wondering if we can all be cognizant of that when we're establishing the date. January 15th, when you subtract the 2 weeks of holidays,
When
might
did
be
this?
a little bit too ambitious.
When did the notice go out?
I can get back to some slides. The notice went out in, can you hold one moment? And for what it's worth, when you see the pictures, what needs to get done is accomplishable by the 15th, for what it's worth. But the courtesy letter was sent July 20th. I had a notice of violation went out September 15th. All right, so that notice of violation was 3 months ago, and we had another almost 2 months before that. So we've had many months to take care of this. Maybe I could show you a picture or two, you'd feel more comfortable. Before we go to how compliance can be met, let me show you a few pictures. So we have a tile roof that just looks like it probably has never been cleaned. It's really mildewed. It's discolored. They're not supposed to be like that. It needs to be probably pressure washed, which could be accomplished probably rather easily. And then there's, overall the home's in good shape, but there's a portion on the south side that has a little bit of peeling paint. You could, roll some paint over that, and we'd drive by it all day long. We wouldn't know that was happening. And then a little bit of mildew on the north side of the property. So while understandably, if it was a bigger project, I might tend to agree with you. I would just say that I think those things could be accomplished in another month, and the owner told me as much, but up to the board. So that's just my recommendation, that they be taken care of by January 15th. Was that approved?
Well, we haven't voted yet.
Okay. So,
Brian, you've been dealing with this since midsummer, it sounds like, right?
correct.
Okay, I'm
I
ready to.
didn't,
I'll move to enter order requiring the respondent to correct the violation on or before January 15, 2022. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Very good,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Yes, would you like me to read you what compliance, how it can be met for these two issues, or move on? Yes, okay. So for the exterior surfaces, they just need to have any damaged or deteriorated structural and decorative elements repaired and/or replaced in a workmanlike manner, stucco, trims, soffits, fascia, etc. Removal of all the mildew that might be visible, any peeling paint, any other loose materials, and then repainting of all affected areas shall be accomplished to match the existing or adjacent surfaces, and then those building walls shall be maintained in a secure and attractive manner. And then compliance can be met for the roof maintenance or the clean roof by, the roof is very mildewed and or discolored, and it needs to be maintained in a clean, mildew-free condition and kept free of any other elements which are not a functional part of the roof system. And then those are just the pictures again. And as I testified before, the property owner and I have spoke, and they indicated that they would be happy to get these things taken care of, and hopefully it'll be within the time frame.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Ms. Brown.
Thank you.
Sounds like you're working with them and they'll
Yeah,
get this accomplished.
we're always
quickly.
trying, you know.
Okay, case 159-21, finds respondents David Bryan at 3158 San Mateo Street in violation of code for exterior surfaces, inoperative vehicle, and lot clearing. Is there anyone here to speak on this case? Okay.
Hello, Shelby Brown again, Code Inspector, City of Clearwater. This is for case 159-21. 3158 San Mateo Street is a single-family residence. We had some property maintenance issues there. There's 3 that were on your agenda for today. Of those 3 violations, 2 have been brought into compliance that we were able to verify as of yesterday. So for those 2 items, which were a lot clearing, debris, nuisance type of case, and an exterior surfaces maintenance case, those are in compliance, and we're requesting a declaration of violation on those 2 matters.
Excellent. Can I get a,
Yeah, I move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and to enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine of up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
Yeah, second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so
Part
then
two.
regarding the inoperative vehicle,
Correct. So we have one issue remaining still, and that's for an inoperative vehicle. It's also called outdoor storage or a nuisance type issue. There's a boat trailer at the property that isn't in compliance with city ordinances currently. We're requesting compliance on or before January 15th of 2022, or a fine of $150 per day for each day that violation continues to exist.
and you're simply asking that the vehicle, the trailer get,
It needs current tags to be put on it. I can show you the pictures of that.
okay,
The
can I
owner
get
said
a
he's willing to
declaration
do it.
first, and then we'll, can I get a declaration on this violation first?
I move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected. Nope, wrong one.
I wish, yeah.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to the affidavit in this case.
I'll second that.
And all in favor? Aye. Okay, sorry, yeah, we'd
That's
like to
okay.
see it.
We are asking the board to authorize the following. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the city attorney's office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien using any legal or equitable remedies available under the law. So for the inoperative vehicle, outdoor storage nuisance, compliance can be met by doing one of the following. Render the vehicle, which is a boat trailer, fully street operational, which includes the display of current valid registration. Even if the registration may show up as being renewed, you have to have the tag on. It has to be street legal. Or they can store the boat trailer in the garage or remove it from the property. This is a picture from September 13th. We don't work on the boat itself, it's what it's on, which is a trailer. You see a license plate there. This was as of yesterday. There's a license plate. It's showing May 2021 tags. We just need for them to get that tag on there, and that'll take care of it.
You just need that expired tag.
That expired tag
on
needs-
the trailer.
That expired tag needs to be displayed as a current tag
On the trailer.
on the trailer.
Gotcha.
That's it.
And it can be stored in the front yard.
It can be in the driveway or on one grass space right next to the driveway. The city code does allow that. So that's it. That's where we're at.
Okay. Well, we trust you're working with the homeowner, and you've already accomplished a lot, so
Okay.
thank you. Can I get a motion on the violation?
I move to enter order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before January 15, 2022. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation. For each day each violation continues to exist, if fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. Case 160-21 finds respondents Valerie Washington at 1147 Engman Street in violation of code for exterior surfaces, clean roof, and abandoned building. Is there anyone here to speak on this case?
Yes.
Yes? Would you please step to the podium? Can you state your name and address for the board?
Washington, I don't live at that house. I live at 1430 South Madison Avenue in the other house.
You're leasing this house.
I own that house. It's my mom's house, and I live at 1430 South Madison Avenue.
Your mom is living in this house?
With me at 1430 South Madison, but not at 1147. My mom has dementia, and I've taken over the two houses and her personal information.
Oh, so there's no one living in this house?
No one living in
Oh,
that
okay,
house.
okay.
Mm.
Do you admit to this violation?
Well, I know the house needs work, yeah, and I'm prepared to do the work now because I have financial resources, but before I did not have that.
Okay,
All
great.
right.
Thank you, Ms. White. We really appreciate that.
Thank you. Should I go back and sit or stand?
Can I'm just gonna get a motion on your
Okay.
I
declaration.
move to, well, it's not a declaration because we're,
She's
It's an
admitting.
admission,
Admitted.
so it's,
yeah,
it's an admission of violation.
yeah.
So I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, we're just gonna see Mr. Dixon's,
Good afternoon, Greg Dixon, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case 160-21 for 1147 Ingman Street. There's 3 violations at this property that violates Code Section 3-1502B for exterior surfaces, 3-1502D3 for a clean roof, and 3-1503A, B1, B2, B3, and B9 for abandoned building. Notice of violation was sent on May the 18th of 2021 with a compliance date of June 30th, 2021, and certified mail receipt was received back in the office on June 1st. The definition of abandoned building is a building or structure that is deserted by the owner or left unsecured or that is not maintained. Evidence of desertion and lack of maintenance shall include, but not limited to, unaddressed code violations, lack of required building permits or certificate of occupancy, lack of business tax receipt, or a lack of active utilities. The water has been off at this property since 2014. This is a property, it's boarded up. She does take care of the grass, and I have been in contact with her, but I get complaints from the neighbors. Here's another picture in May. Here it is in October. The grass is cut, but not much else has changed. And here's this week, it's still in the same condition.
What are your suggestions, Mr. Dixon? Looks like
Would you like
it's.
my recommendation?
Yeah,
All right, for the three violations, exterior surface, clean roof, and abandoned building, I'm requesting compliance on or before January 15th, or a fine of $150 per day per violation if compliance is not met. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the city attorney's office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such liens using any legal or equitable remedies under the law. Compliance can be met for the exterior surfaces by replacing any defective structural or decorative elements of the building walls and ensure all exterior surfaces are free of mildew, rust, loose material, faded, peeling paint. Compliance can be met for the clean roof by maintaining the roof in a clean, mildew-free condition and kept free of trash, loose shingles, debris, or any other elements, including grass or weeds. Compliance can be met for the abandoned building by having all code violations addressed, have current utilities turned on, or have the home occupied, or sell it, or have the property demolished. I'll let her explain the situation, but it would be hard to get all this done in 30 days, so if you guys are willing to grant her some more time,
If she
I'd be
leaves it,
supportive.
if she leaves it boarded up, would that still be acceptable?
No,
That would be acceptable, so the windows have to be exposed and,
yeah.
okay, thank you.
Well, like the pictures reveal, I do realize that the house needs a lot of work, and like I said before, I do have the financial resources to start working on the roof as far as, that was my plan, but I just got the financial resources like in late October or November, and I have reached out to at least a half a dozen roofers, but the problem is, I didn't know that I could pull the permit, and that two of them didn't provide me with their licensed contractor number, so I didn't want them working on the house. So my plans was to get the roof, once I got the financial resources in late October 1st to November, was to replace the roof, put a tent over the house, and get plumbing inspection, as well as electrical inspection. That's on my bucket list.
Are there windows, Ms. Washington?
I'm
Is there
sorry?
glass? Are there windows?
Is it glass?
Are there glass? Is there
They're
glass in the
rollout.
windows?
They're rollout, so,
There is
Behind the
glass.
boards.
Behind?
no, not behind the board, no.
There's no glass.
No, it's green and then they just roll out. And the reason why I put that in there is because the house was broken into and on 2015 and the squatters or whatever, just the people that broke in, I never found out, but I filed a police report and they just were coming in the house and they ransacked the house.
So if you took the boards out, the windows, there would be operating windows.
Yes, it would be as far as I know. They've been boarded up for a long time, but before we boarded them out, they rolled out. But the reason why I boarded them up was because, people were coming in the house. And I've just got the financial means to really start improving on the house.
If the house had the roof repair and the utilities were turned on, is the house livable inside?
See, I don't know if, you know what I'm saying, because the house needs to be cleared out, because they ransacked it. It needs to have all that stuff removed out, cleaned out. And then I'm not too sure about electricity being on because of the simple fact, with the roof needing major repairs or replacement, I'm scared to turn the electricity on. It might catch on fire. 'Cause I saw that in the documentation that I signed, certified mail, that the lights need to be turned on. I even inquired about that. But because the house has been vacant for so long, I don't know about the electrical wiring and anything. And I don't want a fire.
What do you want to do if the roof were repaired? What do you want to do with the house?
I would like to move back in it. I would like, because right now we're living in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, smaller house, and that house is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, bigger house. And I would like to move back in. That's what my plans are, to repair the roof, get a tent, get electrical inspection and plumbing inspection, and move forward.
And how much time would you like to have?
I don't think with all that, I don't know, probably, I'm going to try 60 days because I have 2 scheduled inspections and they have their contractor's license that they're provided to me. They're supposed to come over Saturday.
To give you estimates?
So
To give me an
inspection
estimate.
for what, though? What kind of inspection?
Just to give
To
estimates? for the
get
roof?
inspections and then to give me a price so I can move forward with getting the roof replaced.
Oh, so.
And then, because I'm prepared, as long as they tell me how much and it's not out too much, I'm able to go forward.
So that's the first step, and then the next thing would be to.
They put the tent over the house because it's been vacant for some time.
What do you mean by tent? Like a termite tent?
Yeah, because I don't know what's in there, because no one's lived in there since 2014, 2015. So someone suggested that I get a tent on it. I don't know that it needs a tent, but someone had suggested since it's been vacant that long.
The cost of having that done, I would seek out, it's another inspection, but I would have someone that's qualified to.
Oh, I have a number. I have
Okay.
a number of someone who
'Cause that could
does
be
house checks.
costly if they
It's
can
like
have-
$1,500. That's
Yeah,
what he told me.
$1,800.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
But if you can pay, I'd say like $150 to have an inspection done to say whether you need it or not, I would go, I can't tell you what to do, but I would.
I
pick that
understand
route.
what you're saying. But the structure of the roof, some parts have, because a tree fell on the roof, and I had the remainder of that tree removed. And then because of the wear and tear on the roof, with the people that have inspected it but didn't follow up with a work order or anything or estimate, they told me that I need some wall structure too. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant about turning on the lights, the utility and the water. 'Cause
Yeah, I would think you would need a general contractor to be able to advise that the electrical setup is still sound
I guess I can do that.
before having the electricity turned on.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to turn electricity on if no one hasn't inspected it, because like I said, late 2014, you heard him say, or 2015.
Sounds like you have a good plan. Do you think that extra 30 days would be enough to get all that?
I don't know if an extra 30 days.
I'm already thinking she would need more time.
I need more time because I take care of my mom and I work for Pinellas County Schools Human Resources. And I'm going to be off till January the 5th, so I do have time to, work on it now. Yeah, I have time to work on it now.
So a reasonable request would be March 15th to get all that complete.
I'll do the best I can. Mhm.
We're extending it, so I would like a commitment that you're going to try to do this.
I commit, I will try to do that.
I just want to make sure that the steps that need to be taken are clear, to make sure that you're not, running in circles. Are the steps clear on what you need to do first?
I need to get the roof done. I need to see about a contractor to come in about the electrical issues, and then I don't know what the other one was. Remove the boards, is that what you, yeah, remove the boards.
Make it livable.
Make it livable. Mhm. So I understand that. I hope I can do that. I commit to trying to do that in 60 days or
Yeah,
March 15th.
we want you to have your house. We don't want to see you back.
My mom would like her house back too.
Any questions, feel free to contact the city at any time.
Oh, I've been in a lot of contact with you. I feel like I need to send him a Christmas card.
He would like that. He would like that. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
So, you want me to do, okay. I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before March 15th. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such a lien.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Case 161-21 finds respondents TAH 2017-2, borrower LLC at 111 North Hercules Avenue in violation of code for residential rental business tax receipt. Is there anyone here to speak on this case? Nobody. Mr. Casman? Can I get a declaration of the violation?
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second it.
All in favor? Aye. Hello.
Good afternoon, Board. Daniel Casman, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is for case number 161-21 for 111 North Hercules Avenue. There's currently one violation here for business tax receipt. I'm requesting compliance on or before January 15th, 2022, or a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day the violations continue to exist. We're asking the Board to authorize the following. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the City Attorney's Office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien using any legal or equitable remedies available under the law. And compliance can be met for the residential business tax receipt by applying for and obtaining a business tax receipt for residential rental or by ceasing to rent the property.
Have you heard from TAH 2017?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I think they might have had one back in the day under a different LLC name, changed their LLC name, and then just stopped paying their business tax receipt, but it would require them to reapply and get a new business tax receipt.
And we're talking about $37 here approximately.
$31.50, yeah.
Okay.
to be exact.
Is the property currently leased to anyone?
Yes, it's currently has a lease, currently has somebody living there. They just, honestly, the company just has to apply for it and get their business tax receipt. I've sent them applications through the mail, I've posted the property. Honestly, it's a really easy process. It doesn't really take a lot of time. I've given them 30 days to figure out, maybe once they get the board order in the mail, they'll decide to call the business tax receipt line.
That's fair.
Are they local?
Let's see. California.
All right, well, if there's no further questions, can I have a motion?
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before January 15, 2022. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid, 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case 162-21 finds respondents George Dubowski at 1451 Cleveland Street in violation of code for exterior storage. Is there anyone here to speak on this case? Mr. Katzman.
Good afternoon again, Board. Daniel Casman, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is for case number 162-21 at 1451 Cleveland Street. There's one violation here for exterior storage. I'm requesting compliance on or before January 15th, 2022, or a fine of $150 per day for each day the violation continues to exist. We're asking the Board to authorize the following. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the City Attorney's Office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien using any legal or equitable remedies available under the law.
Can I get a motion on the declaration of violation?
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The compliance can be met for the exterior storage violation by removing all items from the carport and grounds of the property not meant for outdoor use. They're pretty much almost there. They got rid of everything except for the kitchen sink. That's the only thing left.
Literally, I presume.
So they're working on it, that's good.
Yes, they're doing good. They just need a little more time to finish up, and I'm sure that'll be done.
Okay, so you're working with the homeowner, you're satisfied
Yes,
with
they
it,
just-
or the building owner?
Still need to finish up, that's all.
Okay, well then let's move.
Okay, let's move forward.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before January 15, 2022. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid, 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Case 163-21 finds respondents Lincoln Square Clearwater LLC at 1221 Rogers Street in violation of code for exterior surfaces and roof maintenance. Is there anyone here to speak to this case? Please step forward. State your name and address for the board.
Shannon Seymour, 1609 Sunset Drive, Clearwater, Florida.
Okay.
Seymour, S-E-Y-M-O-U-R. Thank you.
Is this your property?
What?
Is this your property?
Yes.
Okay. Are you admitting to the violation?
Yes. Well, I think it's all taken care of now. I didn't receive any notices. I just found out a few minutes ago that they had the wrong address, an address that I was at like 3 years ago. So I didn't receive any notices except the one that was put on a stick in the yard. So as soon as I got that, I started taking care of it right away. And honestly, prior to that, I mean, it was just taken care of. It wasn't violations. It's just before COVID. And over the last year and a half, I used to have people working that would do that. I had a property manager, and I also had people in my office. But right now, I'm very short-staffed, and
Is this like a commercial building?
it's 4 commercial buildings, all in one property, and I have my office. I have a skincare company, and had 10 administrative staff there. So over the last almost 2 years since COVID, I've lost almost all of my staff. It's just two of us, me and one other person, and then a part-time person doing the job of 10 people. So it's been, and I'm not used to handling this part of things, and I didn't realize that he just told me that I have to go to the property appraiser site and change the address. It's an address that I was at several years ago that he has.
Oh, for your contact address. I see what you're saying.
Yes, I just found that out a few minutes ago. I didn't know that. So anyway, we got something put in the yard, and I mean, I do know we had the grass was, I also lost a guy who mows the yard. It's just been so hard hiring people or getting anyone out there. It was true that the yard was a wreck. It had gone way too long. And, but I got the thing posted and I immediately started working on it.
When did you see the posting?
Well, I got the first thing posted, I think, you know, I'm sorry, I've been so overwhelmed lately. I could have my timelines really wrong, but it feels like maybe a month ago I got the first thing posted. And I started working on trying to get people out there to help. It's really difficult right now to get people there. And I had a lot of it taken care of before I got the second thing posted. I was working on it. I think it was just a few days ago that I didn't see the second stick. I only knew about it maybe a few days ago, maybe a week ago. Someone brought it in, and then they said, oh, a couple days ago that came in. I found out about it, I think it was 4 or 5 or maybe a week, the second one. So I had been working on him, and then the one that said I had to come to court. And then, I mean, honestly, we've also got a major homeless problem there. So part of it has just also been overwhelming, that the homeless people, literally every single day, I've got probably 15 people camping out there. I call the police 3-4 times a day, and I've signed those affidavits of no trespass. And so probably right after I got that first notice, it was hard to get someone out there, but I finally got someone out there to just cut the grass, and it just didn't, you know, the homeless were still coming, so then I got them to cut all the bushes, like, majorly, which they had just finished that before I got that second stick. But literally, they bring sofas, they bring bed mattresses.
We appreciate you coming here today to address this and now taking the responsibility for it. We're just going to take a declaration. We're going to see some photos from Mr. Kasman, and then we'll have you come back up to speak, okay?
Okay, great. I have some photos too, because over the last, I think he said that when he saw it a couple days ago, it was mostly done, but we've been working on it yesterday and today also, so I don't know if you want to see my photos from this afternoon.
You'll get the
Okay, sorry, thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Kasman. Can we get a declaration of violation?
I move to find a respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi, Mr. Kasman.
Okay. Daniel Kasman, Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Clearwater. This is case number 163-21 for 1221 Rogers Street. Currently, there's 2 violations at the property for Code Section 3-1502B for exterior surfaces, and Code Section 3-1502D1, D3, and D5 for roof maintenance, clean roof, and false roof elements. This property did come before Code Board as a PNU case, I believe either last month or 2 months ago, for the grounds of the property. I initially came out to the property due to complaints of homeless activity and lots of garbage on the grounds. And as I took a look around the entire property, then noticed the issues with the roof and the exterior, which became separate cases. And the owner is correct. They'd have mostly taken care of all the lot clearing issues. They just had to take away the piles that were left over from them. But the place does look much better. For these violations, though, notices of violation were sent on July 30th of 2021, and then again on October 6th of 2021, with compliance dates of September 30th of 2021, and October 11th of 2021, There was an affidavit of posting on the 6th of October 2021, and then the notice of hearing was on the 3rd of December 2021. So this is the property, 1221 Roger Street, has 4 pretty much identical brick buildings on the grounds, parking lots in both the east and west side. That stick right there is my lot clearing notification that was on July 27th of 2021. As I looked around the buildings, this is on the north side of the property. I saw a large number of vines growing over the roof and growing on the exterior of the property. They're on the east side of the building as well. Just more pictures around. On the southwest portion of the property, there's a tree that's overgrowing and now its branches are resting on the roof, starting to touch the side of the building. This was the posting on the 6th of October for the violations. There was also another violation for a short bus that was being kept in the property with no license plate on it, but that's been taken care of as well. Just some photos from the 6th as well, the vines still being on the exterior, the roof still being touched by that plant, and then I noticed that also that some of the soffits and fascia were missing from a corner of one of the buildings as well. I went back after that compliance date of the 11th, and there were still the vines, the bushes covering everything. The soffit had still not been repaired. I went back on the 25th, the vines, this is just a better look of it from the street corner. More vines in the exterior. They did take care of the soffit and the fascia, so I knew something was happening, but there still had nothing been done with any of the vines in the exterior of the building yet. I went back on the 24th of November. The vines were still there, and then this is when I posted the property for notice of hearing for the code board because I prepared it for this month's code board previously. And third, they had already started to work on a lot of it. A lot of it had been cut back. A lot of bushes had been cut down. There were still some areas, there were still trouble areas that still needed to be taken care of. On the 8th, those 2 areas, and I went back on the 14th. The vine is dead, but still its remnants are just clinging to the underside of the building. And that corner still has the branches on it. So,
What are your recommendations?
So there's some progress.
It looks really a big improvement.
Yeah, and I didn't get any of the things he was talking about except the one that was about, I think he said November or October. And so the only 2 things I got were the one that was a little over a month ago and the one that was a little over a week ago. And so I didn't see the other ones. And he did tell me what address he has. He has a different address that I haven't been out for years. So anyway, I will get the address updated right away. He told me I had to do that right before this meeting started. And I think, actually, I think everything is handled now except one thing I realized while he was showing it. But yeah, we've been working really hard since I got the thing. Honestly, the vines, I took those all down myself because I couldn't find anyone to get out there quick enough. So that one dead one that's still up there, I just couldn't reach it, but I will figure out. All those I did myself. So I think I've got pictures. I think everything's done except he's right that one tree is not cut.
What are the exterior surface violations?
the exterior surface violations was for the vines growing on the exterior of the building.
Oh, that's not the roof maintenance issue.
Well, the vines are connected to each other, and as the vines grow up the side of the building, they start to take over the roof as well, and that becomes a separate matter, because now it's the roof versus the exterior.
Okay.
It's mostly been taken care of, but if you want to look at my recommendations, I'm still going to give more additional time to finish up here.
I think the vines are done, except there's that one little dead one. I think the vines are fully done. I think the only thing left to do, there's that one piece, it'll take 5 minutes to get a ladder, but.
Well, we'll just let Mr.
let's see.
Cosman give his full recommendation, then there will be no.
I'm sorry.
Then no one will question what the issue is anymore,
Okay,
what it will
sorry,
take to
sorry.
fix it. No, that's fine.
Okay. So for 1221 Rogers Street, for the 2 violations of exterior surfaces and roof maintenance, I'm requesting compliance on or before January 15th of 2022, which is a month's time from now, or a fine of $150 a day per violation for each day the violations continue to exist. We're asking the board to authorize the following. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the city attorney's office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien using any legal or equitable remedies available under law. Compliance will be met for the exterior surface by removing all vines from the exterior of the building or repairing any damage to the exterior. And compliance will be met for roof maintenance by removing all vines and plant life growing on the roof or laying on the roof and repairing any damage to the roof.
Question.
Yeah.
The picture that we just saw indicates that there's like a cluster of buildings there?
Yes,
And
there's
we're only talking about one of the buildings, correct?
all four. Several of the buildings had issues with them, but they're all part of the same parcel of land.
Okay, so she owns all 4 buildings?
Yeah, it's 4 buildings. It's all 4 buildings that he showed, and I honestly think everything is done except the tree. I don't know, I pulled the vines down, and I don't think they were hurting the roof, but I pulled them all down. The one thing with the fascia, I actually fixed that before I even saw your notice. But I do have photos, it's just, I could not do the tree myself, and I couldn't get anyone out there. And I didn't realize there was a problem with the tree, it's a big tree. It didn't seem like it's hurting the building to me, but
We just need that, she's just concerned about the branch that's laying on the roof. The whole tree does not have to come down.
yeah,
Just the
yeah,
branch.
I just couldn't cut the branch myself, and
Obviously.
honestly, I've really only known this a short time, so.
So it looks like it's just this large branch, which a landscaper could do, and the rest of the vines need to come off the building. Do you think 30 days is appropriate to get
I
a tree
think
guy
that-
out there, cut the branch, and
I think that would be easy, I mean, I think the vines are done, he showed there's like a
they're not
small
done.
piece
He
of.
said, yeah, he said that they still need to come down, the vines that are left up there.
Yeah, but just so you know, it's a very small, like, it's a little dead piece that's up high. But I can get that done.
Make that tree guy who
yes.
cuts the branch, make him take the.
You know.
Yeah, I
vines
think
down,
that is not a problem. It's just, it honestly is very, very difficult to get people to come. And I just found out about the tree recently, and I have been calling, and I haven't been able to get anyone to come yet. So I would imagine, I mean, if I can get someone to come, I would imagine 30 days would be easy. But I do know, I mean, it is very hard right now to get people to come, so
Can we give her
I
the
just
tree
don't
cutter's address or phone number?
it's a huge tree, and there's one branch that it has a piece about this thick that's gonna need cut, in my opinion. I'm not real knowledgeable on it, but it's a very huge tree, so I think I really do need a pro to do it.
Absolutely.
And I just haven't, I'm not usually the one in charge of this, I don't have anyone else doing it now, so I don't know how long it takes to get someone out there. I know I tried to get someone out to
Fortunately,
fix
there
a-
are lots of them in Pinellas County
Okay,
that will
good.
be.
I tried to get someone out to fix a pool pump, and that took me like 3 months to get someone, it was crazy.
Steph, are there any further questions?
No.
Okay,
I
is
move
that
to-
it?
I move to
Thanks
enter
so
an
much.
order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before 1/15/2022. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If the fines and fees remain unpaid for 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is also raised to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Mr. Casper.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case 164-21, find respondents Willard Cross and Jennifer Davidson at 3179 Downing Street in violation of code for exterior surfaces. Is there anyone here to speak on this case? Mr. Brabant.
afternoon.
Brabant?
Good afternoon, my name is Bill Brabant, Code Inspector for City of Clearwater. This property is currently in compliance, even though there wasn't one violation for exterior surfaces.
Fantastic.
I'm
Is our
requesting a
one-
declaration of
our one-
violation.
I move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and to enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Maybe next month, Mr. Brandon.
Thank you.
Okay. And this one is continued, 165-21 is continued to January. Case 171-21 finds respondents Fred Poe and Catherine Douglas at 619 Island Way in violation of code for permits. Is there anyone here to speak on this case? Hello.
We're not contesting the violation, we're just going to ask for a little more time for permitting and compliance, so I can explain that
Do you need-
after Mr. Cantrell does his presentation if you want, or can explain it now.
Do we want to get the name and address for the record?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brian Uggs, 625 Court Street, on behalf of the respondent Fred Poe, whose address is 619 Island Way.
Thank you, Mr. Uggs. So do we want to do do a declaration?
Motion, first motion.
It's not withdrawn, right?
Admissions, you can do declaration, yes.
It's not withdrawn.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No. I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Hi, Jason
Mr.
Cantrell, City of Clearwater Building Inspector. This is property at 619 Island Way. I'm just going to start with the photos since they admitted violation. We're all familiar with Island Estates. It's about halfway down Island Way on the right-hand side. This is a stop work order for a deck being built without the proper permitting. That's just showing the deck boards in the driveway, the contractor on site. That's a view from the neighboring property, showing the, you can see the new posts there on the left-hand side.
This is the backyard?
Yes. It's just showing where it was in relation to the seawall. That's what it looks like now. They've removed a portion of it that they thought they were in violation for. However, the remainder of the deck still needs to be permitted. They're aware of that. Any questions?
Is it something that they are in process to get the permit?
They are.
And then what are your recommendations, Mr. Fincher?
Apply for, obtain, and complete the required permitting. And the recommendation is to obtain the proper permit on or before January 18th, 2022, or complete the permit within 60 days, or a fine of $150 per day per violation that the violation continues to exist, and any reasonable cost to be applied as liens against the property. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the city attorney's office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien using any legal or equitable remedies available under the law.
And with holidays, is that still attainable to get a permit in that time?
We're working till the 24th.
It's possible.
Okay.
Very good,
Mr.
thank you.
Oaks, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair and board members. Again, Brian Uggs, 625 First Street, on behalf of the respondent, Fred Poe. I'm joined by the project manager, Sam Hutkin, who can answer any questions about the permitting process. I was retained about 10 days ago, so I'm kind of new to this case, but my understanding is that Mr. Poe acquired the property in 2019, and the portion of the deck that is there today was there unpermitted from the prior owner, and he was unaware that that deck was unpermitted. He did extend that deck, which were the pictures you saw with the contractors at the beginning, which were the stop work order. When he went to apply for a permit for the extended deck, for the entire deck, including the extension he wanted to do, he had another attorney involved who was working with the planning department because this property is governed by the Island Estates neighborhood overlay, which requires a 25-foot setback to the seawall, which is greater than the normal 18-foot setback, and his extension was into that setback. And so then they went back and forth with the planning department about whether they could apply for setback relief through an FLS or FLD application. There was some debate about whether they could even apply for it. Long story short, when I got involved, I told them just take it out and get the permit for the deck that was there when you bought the house, which is what he's done. My concern is that this is an after-the-fact permit, so there's no work to be done. If this was just, hey, remove the portion of the deck, they did that in a couple days. But what we got to do is we got to go through the entire permitting process, which requires us to respond to inspectors' comments. We need to get a new survey that shows just the portion of the deck that's there now, not the portion that had the extension. With the holidays, all that takes some time. My concern is if you enter an order that requires us to be done with the permitting process in 30 days or start fines, I'm not going to have an opportunity to prevent the fines from accruing, and then we'll be back asking for a lien reduction. So I would say 90 days is adequate to go through the permitting process for a deck. Like I said, we have to get a new survey, there's gonna have to be
But you're just trying to get the
plans.
permit on the existing deck now.
Correct, yes ma'am.
So there'll be nothing to complete once they have that permit.
Right, but I guess, I used to clerk for Judge Overton, and he's a traffic court judge, and he would say to people, I have a lot of power to take your driver's license away, but I have no power to give it back. My concern is if there's something that comes up, and I don't know what the comments are gonna be from the building department or the building inspectors until we file the application. Typically, when someone is in violation for an after-the-fact permit and they file the permit application, code enforcement is abated. That's not a rule, but it's usually a courtesy that's extended. So, in this case, we're gonna file for the permit this month, once we have the new survey. I just don't know how many days it's gonna take to get through the permitting process, and I would hate for fines to start because we were on the 61st day, waiting for a contractor to respond to a comment. So that's why I'm asking for the 90 days, since we have to go through the whole permitting
It
process.
seems like a nightmare to actually build on something that wasn't permitted and then have to remove it. That would be my personal nightmare, but, so you're saying that there's
You
so
might
many
have to
steps that you
remove
want
the
90
original
days
deck.
Yeah,
versus 60?
Correct.
They may say no. They might have to remove the
And
entire
then they might
deck.
have to remove the, yeah.
Do we have anyone here from the building department that might be able to answer those questions?
We just so happen.
Hello, Board. I'm Dana Root. I'm the Assistant Building Official for the City of Clearwater. Mr. Onks was talking about getting a new survey. I believe they have a survey, and the old survey is fine. They just have to draw in where the new deck is going. Any other questions?
Do you think that it's achievable to attain a permit in 30 days?
Yes, because we're only closed the Friday before Christmas and the Friday before January 1st.
I don't have any further questions.
And just to let you know, the first notice of violation was sent out February of 2019.
I see that. Anything else, Mr. Oaks?
No, I just say that I think that the 90 days is a reasonable request. We are working diligently. They've already restored the portion that was subject to the stop work order, and now they're just fixing the problem that existed when they purchased the house, unbeknownst to them. And Mr. Huckins here, he's going to be managing the application, so I think it's a reasonable request. I wouldn't want to have to create more work for you on the back end of having to reduce a fine or a lien or something like that, so.
So you're okay with getting the permit within the next 30 days? You just are asking for completion within 90 days versus 60?
We're okay with applying for the permit immediately, within the next day or two. The problem is I don't know how long, I can't predict how long the permitting process is going to take. I trust that it won't take 90 days, but I'd rather ask for that than have to try to come back later and, like I said, reduce a lien that was put on because we were on, the 35th day or the 36th day or the 61st day. I don't think it's an unreasonable request. I think that
For
we're
the
working.
permit, you want 90 days for the permit?
90, so we're going to apply for the permit now.
Right.
And then once we apply for the permit, the staff reviews what's submitted, then they come back with comments. And, if there's no comments, the permit's issued and you don't have to worry about it. We're in compliance. But if compliance is contingent on a CO, on the permit being completed, I don't have any control over how long that process takes.
It's really
Sometimes
only
it takes
asking
longer
for
than
an
we think.
additional 30 days.
Right, the suggestion is two things. Obtain the proper permit, which is applying for it, and then complete the permit. So he's asking for the 90 days for the permit.
Correct. Because like you said, Madam Chair, they may want us to remove more of it, and I don't know if they will or not. So I don't think the 90 days is entirely unreasonable. Thank you.
Thanks. Anything else,
we word
Mr.
that?
Cantrell?
So,
You would word it,
Just like it's
exactly like
written.
that.
right, I mean, obtain the proper permit, or it's really apply for the proper permit within the 30 days, right?
No, we're asking for it to be obtained, active.
And then you want them to complete it with the whole project within 90 days?
Oh, there is.
Within 60, after 60 days after.
If they say yes,
obtaining
there
the
is
permit.
no completion.
Oh, so it's already 90 days, really?
No, the 60 days is not added after 18th, it's inclusive, right?
Well, it's not the way it's currently written.
No, whenever the permit is issued, then he would have 60 days beyond that day to correct.
If you make your motion that way.
Yeah. And then
Well, that's
90.
what according to the recommendation.
Okay,
I'm comfortable with the 60,
okay. Yes.
certainly. Can you state your name and address?
Sure.
My name is Samuel Hudkin, work with Guard Construction, also president of the Clearwater Beach Association. The only thing about this deck, which is going on for 2 years, is that we are now going to go back to the original deck, make sure it's structurally okay. You know, you got subs, you got a lot of things, we just want to make sure that it's done right? You know, we got to go back to something that we haven't touched, we haven't dealt with, and button it up, right? And you just never know what can happen, right, within that. So just making sure, because we have other projects, just want to, equitable time. It's sorry for this owner too. I mean, I just want to say this owner is coming from a state where, even as a fencing company, it doesn't even require permits for fences, believe it or not, which I was like, wow. So it's not something that he even knew about or thought that he did anything wrong, and now he's got this home, and now he's got to dial it back, and now he's even the original deck, which wasn't out of his control. We just is trying to hold on to that and make sure that we have the deck properly done. We just want enough time so we're not coming back and forth with it. That's all. But we're already put the permit packet together. Almost by Monday, we're going to put it in. So the packet's going to go in, and we're going to, go as fast as we can. We just don't want to, get caught up. You never know. There's also materials, all that stuff, tracks, decking. I mean, you understand what's going on there, right? I mean, it's a lot. Some windows take 5 months. So just making sure that we're covering all bases so we're not wasting anyone's time.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks for speaking, Mr. Hudgens.
Yep.
My recommendation would be to receive the permit by the 18th, but then complete it within 90 days.
Yeah. I'm comfortable. Yeah.
If everybody's. Mr. Cantrell, did you have something to add?
Nope.
Okay. No. I move to order requiring the respondent to correct the violations by having a permit on or before January 18, 22, and complete the permit process, or complete the permit within 90 days of that date. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If the fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Cantrell. And that concludes new business items.
Hold on, there's something going on.
I want to readdress, because I think their concern, and it may be different from what the city's saying, is they don't think they could get the permit within the 30 days.
I think we'd be fine if it was 60 days to obtain the permit and then, 60 days to complete it after you obtain the permit. But I'm just worried about, even if we file this Monday, responding to comments. I've been in situations before where things just, sometimes it takes a little longer. Staff gets sick, staff is out, the claim department's short staff. I don't know if they'd be involved with this at this point because of the previous setback issue. I've been waiting for a DO on a level 1 for over 2 months with no comments, just to get it signed. So this isn't any aspersions on the staff. It's just out of my control. If you only give me 30 days to get a permit, I don't control that whole process. So.
I think the issue is that they're going to see the current deck as it is not up to code, and then they're going to require either you remove it or go back and make the adjustments to the deck, and it would all fall within that 90-day period. So is it
as
moot
long
to
as
argue
we're all
over
understood that no fines will start for 90 days, I think that's helpful. But I think the way the order was worded.
Right, the way the order is yes, there's 2 potential violations here. If he doesn't obtain the permit, that's why I was asking that. If he doesn't obtain the permit within the time period, the 30 days, he's now in violation of your order.
You have to change the wording to obtain the whole process within 90 days. Remove the January 18th.
Right, if it's obtained and complete within 90 days, that would accomplish what he's asking.
Do you need to see that?
Yes, please. So I word it right. So they go off your words than my words.
So then either way, he's got around 90 days, but if we do it this way, then he has more time to actually.
He could get the permit on the 89th day.
And no fees will be accrued before the 90 days.
So redoing it again.
Okay with that? What's the city's position? I didn't hear.
What's the building department's?
Up to building.
Well, they haven't seen the plan yet. They haven't seen the request.
Let's try to clarify.
What are the dates going to be?
They were talking about, well, the request is
February 15th.
90 days for everything to be completed. The way it's currently is that if the permit is not issued by January 18th, they're in violation. That's one violation. Then they complete it within the 90 days after that, then they're not in violation, but they're still in violation for not getting the permit in the right time.
Okay, yeah, you could change it to obtain the permit and
And
complete
complete
the permit
within
within 90
90.
days.
Okay, that's simple enough.
Within 90 days
Is
of
that
the
fine?
date.
Everybody's happy?
So you just need to.
Straightforward now, it's one thing.
Right, just amend the motion to say that the date for obtaining the permit and completing the permit requirements are within 90 days.
Within 90 days of what date?
Or is really 3/18, is really 3/18, March 18th.
March 18th.
Yeah, so we're just really saying March
I'm
18th.
sorry, March 15th, according to.
March 15th, okay. I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before March 15th, getting permit and permit completed. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If the fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
All in favor?
Aye.
Again.
I vote no.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One no.
One no. 4-1.
Okay, on to unfinished business. Affidavits of compliance, case 79-21 and case 101-21. Is there, no, may I have a motion to accept the affidavits of
Just
compliance?
happy Robert Plateau got in compliance. That's amazing.
Fantastic work. Can I get a motion to accept the affidavits?
I move to accept the affidavits of compliance as listed.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Is there anyone here to speak to the affidavits of non-compliance? Anyone? Can we roll these together?
Yes, but if we could just state each one
Sure.
individually, and then you can vote on them together.
Case 105-21, affidavits of non-compliance regarding Muhammad Farr at 843 Lantana Avenue for permits. Case 107-21, affidavits of non-compliance for FYR SFR Borrowers LLC at 1310 South Washington Avenue for permits. Case 108-21, affidavits of non-compliance Dennis Hill at 204 Pennsylvania Avenue for hauling trailer, exterior storage, and inoperative vehicle. And case 115-21, affidavits of non-compliance for JME Trust at 1423 Park Street for residential rental business tax receipt.
I move to accept the affidavit of non-compliance and issue an order to impose fines and states if fines and fees remain unpaid for 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then, do I have an abatement lien filings? Fine red, is that what these are? Fine red?
Yep.
The abatement lien filings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In one? Do you want me to read them?
No, you don't have to read that.
Okay.
I move to enter an order finding the respondents in violation of code and requiring the respondent to correct the violations within 5 days of the board's written order. If the respondent does not comply within the time specified, the city will take all reasonable actions, including the entry into the property to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with the reasonable cost, which will become a lien on the property. If the cost, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I now close this portion of the hearing. Do I need a motion to close?
Motion that we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.